the Replay Dugout. I am Tom Abbott, and today is May 17th. It's day one of the Digital to Dice convention in Connecticut. I am not there. I wish I could be there, but I am not. So I just want to give a shout out to all the people that are there, that are participating. To Dave Gardner and whoever else helped him set this up, get it organized. Um, yeah, shout out to you all. And I'm hoping one day, I've never been to any convention of any kind for this hobby, and I'm hoping maybe one day I can go ahead and do that. Um, this is also an update. Oh, and before I get into my updates, I do just want to give a couple of more shout outs. One to Puck from Auburn, Massachusetts, and Bart from Kansas City, Missouri. These are my, I don't know if you want to call them foreign correspondents. They're from the United States, so maybe that's an intra-national correspondence. And if you would like to become a correspondent to the show, all you have to do is just down in the comments, put your name and where you're from, and you can keep that as generic or specific as you want. If you want to just go first name and city, state, or province, or just state, province, however specific or general you want to get, that is fine. And I'll give you a shout on it at the beginning of my shows. Another thing before I dig in, I want to do an update to my 1977 replay that I'm currently doing, that I just got started. I am looking to spruce up and kind of improve my gaming area, my tabletop gaming area. I've seen some people that have some pretty slick setups, and I'd like to kind of kick mine up a notch. So if you have any photos or images or anything you want to maybe post somewhere, maybe you could go out onto Facebook, and if you're members of the Digital to Dice podcast group, you could post them there. I did post hang on there. I did post a question there. If we go to Digital to Dice, you'll see there, if you go to the new posts, I did post there a question. Has there really been that many posts? I mean, I posted this not too long ago. I know the convention's going on, so maybe there really has been this many more posts. Huh, okay, well, I posted a question out here asking if anybody, there's my post, but that's from Dave Gardner, new posts, recent activity. Yeah, I don't know. I posted a question out here, and sometimes I can't figure Facebook out. I would have thought I would be near the top, but I am not. Anyways, I don't know. You could email me at replaydugout@gmail.com. Just email me some images of your playing space, your gaming area. I'm just looking for some inspiration. Even if you think it's just plain Jane and you don't think it's anything special, send it to me anyways. I'd like to get some ideas. Anyways, let's go over a quick review of where I'm at with my replay. And let's see, yes, I am recording. Just wanted to double check that. You can see I started the season here. There were 2 games on April 6th, and I think there was another 9 games on April 7th and another 3 games on the 8th. I've played all these games, and then there's a game here on the 9th, and I've just got that started. I was not planning on playing every single game. This was just going to be a game of the week project where I let Digital Diamond play all of the games, and I just kind of hand pick a game or 2 per week to play. Just whatever game I think is interesting, a pitching matchup or a pennant race or just whatever it may be. But I've been playing every single one of these games, and I don't get a lot of time to play. So I'm at, I get maybe, if I get 2 or 3 games a week knocked out, I'm doing all right. That's just the way, the time that I have to put towards this. And if you do the math, I'm going to be doing this for a long time. But I don't really care. I enjoy this. I enjoy the ride, and I get there when I get there. And this whole thing is about fun and relaxation and not stress and hurry up and get it done. So it just is what it is. Let's take a look at April 6th. Let's see what happened here. Cincinnati had their home opener, and they beat San Diego decisively, 8-2. George Foster, that was my favorite player in the 70s, had a home run and 2 RBIs and was the player of the game. And then California, yes, California, I don't know what they are now. What are they? The Los Angeles Angels, and it was Anaheim, and then back to California, and then back, I don't know. Anyways, in 1977, it was California. The Angels beat the Seattle Mariners, the expansion team's first year, I believe, that year, 1977. Toronto and Seattle came into the league. And anyways, 3-2 victory for California. Dave Chalk, 1 for 3 and an RBI that day. Let's go ahead here, and then we went into a more full schedule. And by the way, I love this little feature here that Digital Diamond version 13 does, where it tells you how many games there are on that day and how many have been played. And you may wonder, well, what's the big deal there? Well, if you've been playing any kind of replays or seasons or anything like that with this tool, you may have come across a time or two where you accidentally skipped a game. And for me, that seemed to always happen with double headers. The second game was usually tucked down at the bottom here, and I wouldn't see it, and I would sometimes get 2 or 3 days past the game day, and before I would realize I missed a game. And so this is a nice little tool to help you avoid that kind of mistake. It can really come back and bite you, especially at the end of the year when you're in a tight pennant race and maybe you finish the season and a team won their division, and then you go back and go, oh, look, there's 2 or 3 games that didn't get played, and then you go ahead and play them, and that kind of changes everything. So a nice feature added by Mark with Digital Diamond. Let's go through day 2 here. Kansas City hammers Detroit 10-4. And I just want to take you to the next day as well. Let's see. I got started on this day today, and Kansas City again hammers Detroit. I'll tell you, every time I play 1977, whether it's with APA, payoff pitch, whatever, Kansas City at the beginning of the season absolutely pummels Detroit. And they're not, I'm a Tigers fan, so they're not fun games to play. Anyhow, where was I? Okay, day 2. And I got 10-4, Kansas City over Detroit. I've got Texas hammering Baltimore 15-6 with 19 hits on the day. Dave May went 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs and was the player of the game. Game 3, we had Cleveland beat Boston 12-2 and 20 hits on the day. Wow, look at that. Just the first 3 games I covered on this day. We all have double-digit runs and a massive amount of hits. Let's see what happened here. Cleveland had 20 hits. Yeah. I honestly don't enjoy those games. Those are games I'm just like, oh, come on, let's just get this over with. Ray Fosse, 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. I don't know if that was before, if 1977 was before or after Fosse got run over by Pete Rose in the All-Star game. I can't remember. I don't know. Anyways, let's see. Milwaukee loses to New York in New York, 5-1. Winning pitcher Guidry. He only pitched 2 innings and allowed a hit. I wonder why he only pitched 2 innings that game. I'm not sure. And Bucky Dent. Bucky Dent was the player of the game, 2 for 4 with a home run and 4 RBIs. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, it was a walk-off win. Let's go take a look at that. Some of you Boston fans aren't going to be happy about this, but it was Bucky Dent who and I can tell you what, I even put here, holy cow, Bucky Dent with the walk-off grand slam. Billy Martin, or me, was looking to bring in a pinch hitter for Dent. Almost pulled the trigger on that, but a hunch made Martin, me, keep Dent in there. And boy, did that turn out to be the right decision. And this game was played with Status Pro, the fourth edition engine with splits here in Digital Diamond. Let's go take a look at the scorecard. Um, you'll see here in the ninth inning, we were tied up 1-1. And then what happened? Let's see who's pitching here. Barry Court pitching there. Is that a shortened name? I'll go figure it out. Anyways, Reggie Jackson strikes out. Greg Nettles a base hit. Pinella comes in to pinch run. Okay. And then Jimmy Wynn, the designated hitter, gets a walk. Willie Randolph gets a walk. And that's when Bucky Dent came up. And I was really debating, we could put this game away. Let's get a better hitter up there. And I just kept thinking about that home run over the Green Monster that you Boston fans love so much. And I thought I'd keep him in there. And sure enough, he came through and put one over the fence and won it for the Yankees. Great game. Fun game. All right. Then we had, let's see, the Angels beat the Mariners again, 6-5. Don Baylor, 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs. And a run scored. Sid Manji got the win. Then we go to Toronto, where Chicago puts the beat down on Toronto 11-4 with 14 hits. Richie Zisk goes 4 for 5 with a home run, 3 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. Ken Brett, yes, that is George Brett's brother, goes 9 innings, pitches a complete game, 10 hits, and 5 runs. The New York Mets beat the Chicago Cubs. Boy, we had a lot of double-digit run games this day. 10-5, Mets over the Cubs with 19 hits. Ed Kranepool, 4 for 6. I think he just recently passed on, God bless his soul. 4 for 6 with 3 RBIs and a run scores. And Bob Apodaca, 2 innings pitched and got the win. And the Count of Montefiusco pitched for San Francisco, John Montefiusco, and they beat the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-4. Gary Thomason went 1 for 5 with a home run, 2 RBIs, and a run score, got the player of the game nod. And then Pittsburgh, another double-digit game, puts the smackdown on St. Louis 10-3. Rennie Stennett went 1 for 4 with a home run, 3 RBIs, and a run scored, while Jerry Royce pitched 8.1 innings, 5 hits, and 3 runs. How many is that? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 6 games that day that were in double-digit runs. Okay, let's go to April 8th. And we had the Reds play game 2. Jack Billingham came in and pitched a complete game, shutout, 4 hits, and 0 runs. And he was also player of the game with those stats. Let's see here. Is this just saying that, yep, Billingham throws a shutout. California goes on to beat Seattle again, 3-0. I'm not sure if that's the series or if that's a 4-game series. I'd have to go look. Anyways, they're up 3 games. They won their first 3 games. Tony Saleda went 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs. This is one where Digital Diamond awarded this to Bobby Grich, but I was able to override this. Again, that's a version 13 feature. I overrode the player of the game. I felt Saleda was more productive. In fact, it was his hit that scored the winning runs. Winning run. Anyways, let's see. Andy Messersmith and the Braves go ahead and defeat the Houston Astros 3-1. Ron or Rod Gilbreth, I can't remember. 1 for 4, 2 RBIs, got the player of the game. And then we started day 4, and a full schedule today. We've only gotten to 1 game, and that was Kansas City again, putting a double-digit smackdown on Detroit, 11-2 with 16 hits. Darrell Porter goes 1 for 2, got a home run, 2 RBIs, and scored 2 runs, got the player of the game. Andy Hassler, he got the win. Sometimes I will take a deep dive on some players. I did a deep dive on Andy Hassler during this game. Found out that he passed away. Gosh, I forget. He wasn't that old. I think he was in his late 60s and had a stroke or a heart attack. First responders felt that it was whatever it was pretty massive because they felt it took him down fast. There was no sign of struggling or anything like that. Oh, I know the thing that was even more interesting about that. He died on Christmas Day. So yeah, that's wow. Yeah. Anyway, and then also the starting pitcher for the Tigers this game was Ray Bear, and I decided to do a deep dive on Ray Bear as well, and I found out that he passed away, and he passed away at the age of there he is, Ray Bear, 44, leukemia. So what a sad story, and what a way to go at 44. That's so young. I'm 58 now, and I don't know. Maybe some of you that might be watching this, those of us in this hobby tend to be a little on the older side. But any of you young ones watching this, maybe you think 44 is old. But I would say when you get into your 30s and up, you realize 44 is quite young, and typically somebody should have a lot of life left after that. So, anyways, it was his time. We all have our time, don't we? Anyways, if we go look at the standings, you can see we've got Cleveland and New York tied for first place in the AL East. My Tigers are in the cellar dwellers, 0-2. Kansas City up 2-0. They're up in first place, and along with California in the American League West. Let's see, National League East, we've got Pittsburgh and the Mets in first place. And in the West, we've got the Reds, Braves, and the Giants all in first place. It's kind of early to really worry about leaders, I guess, at this point, but we do have Eddie Murray batting 1,000, Richie Zisk 800, and on you go, Detroit Tigers. Tito Fuente, remember Tito? Interesting player. Yeah, he's batting 750. Al Cowens has got 2 home runs for the Royals and 5 RBIs. Jim Norris, Tony Saleta, Bucky Dent, all up there. Dave May. Over the National League, we've got Jack Billingham with a. Uh, he did have quite a good game. I got to admit, I think he got 3 hits or something in while he was pitching, and he is the National League batting leader, Jack Billingham, as a pitcher, tied up with Willie McCovey for the Giants at a 750 batting average. Home runs, Larry Bittner, George Foster, Phil Garner for future Tiger manager, Cesar Geronimo, and Rick Monday. All right. Let's see. Pete Rose, who's in the news again as he's been reinstated he's eligible for the Hall of Fame. He and Joe Jackson. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. What's my feeling on that? I've always liked Pete Rose. I realize he wasn't a saint. I think that I was listening to an interview with Bob Costas, and he was pointing out that all of Rose's accomplishments were before all of that happened with the gambling, and that there was no evidence that he gambled against the games that he played in, that he gambled against his own team. And I realized off the field that there was other things besides gambling. He wasn't, again, he wasn't a saint, but yeah, you can't tell me that everybody in the Baseball Hall of Fame, that all those guys were saints. I mean, I'm sure that if you looked into some of the lives of those guys, you'd find some checkered backgrounds as well. Yet there they are; they're still in there. So I don't know. I say put him in 4,000, over 4,000 hits. That's an incredible accomplishment. I'd like to see him in there. I'd like to see Joe Jackson in there. Let's see, Glenn Abbott, pitching leader, and with Fernando Arroyo. A few years back, maybe about 15 years ago, I guess it's more than a few, we used to live in Illinois, and we lived in Kane County, near Chicago, and I worked downtown Chicago for about 4 years, and uh, we went to a Kane County Cougar minor league baseball game, and I saw Fernando Arroyo there. He was I believe for Kane County, he was a pitching coach there, so that was kind of cool. It's like, hey, I know that guy. Burt Blyleven, Dennis Eckersley, and Ron Gidriel with one victory right now. The saves, you got Paul Hartzell for California, Glenn Abbott, Fernando Arroyo, Ray Bear, and Burt Blyleven. In the National League, you got Bob Apodaca, Jack Billingham, Pedro Borbon, Rick Camp, and Nino Espinosa. And the wins, Bob Apodaca, Jack Billingham, and on and on and on. You go right there. See, I remember I liked John Montefiusco back in the day. I thought that was kind of a cool name. He seemed like a cool player. Rick Camp is the save leader with one. Let's see. If the MVP was to be voted on today, you'd have Al Cowens winning it in the American League and Cesar Geronimo winning it in the National League. And the Cy Young would go to Ron Guidry and Jack Billingham. Let's see. We got hot at the plate, Al Cowens, Tony Saleta, Jim Norris, George Brett, and Don Baylor. And on the mound, Andy Messersmith, Catfish Hunter, Bill Travers, Victor Bernal, and Pete Vukovic. We have 3-game hitting streaks going on for Terry Humphrey, Joe Rudy, and Craig Reynolds. And let's see, in the National League, 2-game hitting streaks for Dave Concepcion, Dan Dreesen, George Foster, Cesar Geronimo, and Ken Griffey. All right. We've already kind of gone through all the games there. Games coming up. Paul Hartzell is looking to work the ninth for another save. Will Victor Bernal continue to dominate batters? Can home run leader Larry Bittner go deep again? And closer Rick Camp looks to shut the door one more time. And then finally, watch streaking Al Cowens try to keep his bat hot. By the way, he would end up playing for the Detroit Tigers. So if we go look at the actuals for this day, you can see we had Toronto, Cleveland, and New York in the American League East. Again, this is a baseball reference. This is IRL in real life. Texas and Kansas City leading the American League West. National League was the Mets and the Cardinals. In the East and in the West, Reds, Dodgers, Astros. Okay. I think that's going to do it for me. I appreciate you stopping by. Please go ahead, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Again, if you'd like to be mentioned as a correspondent to my channel, please just leave a comment in the comments, your name and where you're from. Again, as general or specific as you wish to be. And again, shout out to everybody in at Digital to Dice Con. Wish I could be there. Maybe next time. I'll keep my eye out for other conventions too. Maybe the one in Canton. I don't know. Right now, I kind of ran that one by my wife, and she was like, well, we don't even have our family vacation planned yet, and you're talking about going to Canton in August. It's like, okay, touche, you got me. All right, guys, I appreciate if you made it this far. Thank you. God bless you, and have a great rest of your day, weekend, year, whenever you're watching this. Bye-bye.